Welcome back to Clary Studios, and today we're going to be reviewing this ceiling fan sent to us by Dexnump. So thank you guys over at Dexnump for sending us this fan to review. As you can see, I have it out of the box already. There was no unboxing to do because they just sent it in a very standard box with no literature, nothing fancy, just straight up just a shipping box with this inside. Not even any instructions, at least not that I've seen yet. I mean, I haven't opened this yet. I don't think it really came was the accessories guide. Maybe there's some instructions in here. There might be a few things to talk about. But as you can see, it does come with a remote control. This also has an app, which we will download and test out as well. And like I said, it does come with some of the basic hardware where we mount the fan up to the ceiling right there. I'm not an electrician, so I'm not going to show the actual how to install this, although I will show myself installing it. What I will say, though, as someone who's not an electrician, but someone who has experience installing things like this is, number one, turn off the power. Go to your box outside in the garage, wherever, shut off the power so you have no electricity coming through this unit so that we don't get shocked, because you will definitely have a shocking time. Anyways, let me get it all unpackaged here. We'll take a look at it. Also, one thing to note, at least with the demo package they sent me, it did not come with light bulbs. Okay, I bought this separately over at Costco. Went and picked up some of the Daylight pack, Daylight 6-pack, which are really good lights. So we're going to get it installed and take a look at it. I'll test out the remote control, and we will also test out the app. And we got it all uncovered there. So not a large fan as far as the blades itself go. I mean, some of these fans, you know, they stick out pretty good size into around the ceiling. This one, not so much. As you see, like compared to the size of my hand, it's not that large of a blade. So I'm kind of hoping the size will not be an issue, and hopefully the lack of airflow won't be an issue, but we will definitely install it and find out. So again, I am no electrician, but it's pretty simple, guys. Anybody can do this as long as you follow simple instructions. There are a ton of videos on YouTube on how to do this, and it's pretty simple. Match these wires, these color wires, to the wires that will stick out once I remove that plate. There'll be some wires in there. So first thing we're going to do is remove this little cover right here. It just pops right off like that. And then we're going to have this plastic bridge right here, which all you're going to need for this is a Phillips screwdriver. We're going to go ahead and take that bridge out because these two connections right here is where we're going to actually put the mount for the fan. All right, so let's talk a second about these wires here. I was a little confused myself. Some fans where I've installed the wires that stick out here, you stick it straight to the ceiling. With this particular unit, that is not the case. You need to use this controller box, which I'm going to show you that here in just a second. But before we install that, we need to install the mounting bracket, which would be this one right here. So this mounting bracket, and it does have the ground on it right there, that copper wire. So the grounding, this will go right into those two screws that I took off that plastic bridge. Will replace those that plastic bridge with those same screws. Stick it right up there, and that will basically be the mount for the fan. So as you can see, this little bar right here, this like screw with the bar. So you're going to remove that, and you're going to install either one of these sized booms, whichever one you want to go with. I'm going to go with the smaller one. The longer boom, the fan will drop down more. So I want it as high to the ceiling as possible, so I'm going to use the small boom. So the small boom will connect to the mount, and then the other end of the boom will connect here. So we're going to make these wires come through the boom, out through these plates, which will come over like that. And I'm not sure if I'm using this one. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm not sure how it's used. So yeah, we will figure that out. So we run the wires up through there, and then once we get it mounted and that's all done, now we come to our control box. Our control box will fit right into the inside of the bracket. So obviously, so let's start at the top here. So you can see this one with the little yellow end. That's going to be the antenna. So the remote control and probably the app is going to control through this guy right here. All the other wires that are attached here, they basically hook up to the fan itself. They don't hook up to the ceiling. I'm sorry, they hook up to the fan. The fan itself does not hook to the ceiling. So these two here this black and white with these end caps. It looks like they plug to something. Well, they plug to the fan itself. And there is the female or male. Yeah, so these are the males. So the male connects to the female onto the controller. And then this this wire is the controller wire. It has the little connection on the end that matches this connection on the controller. So you just plug those in. And that's everything from the fan that plugs into this controller. And then on the controller, on the controller itself, we have two additional wires, which are these two. So these are the actual power wires. So you have your negative and your positive. So those two, only those two are going to connect to the ceiling. So that seems pretty simple so far. We'll see what happens, because some of the other fans I've had, they've come with like 3 to 4 to 5 wires that you'd have to connect up there. And there are 3 to 4 to 5 wire connections up there. And each wire connects to something different. Like if you have your switch with a dimmer, another switch for the fan, another switch for the lights, another switch for that light up there. There's so many different things you can do that's set up already pre-installed, at least in this setup. So this actually makes it simple, because if you don't have all that fancy wiring, you just have power only, well, this basically takes away everything you need in that switch, and you just control it through there. That's the idea. That's how I'm understanding it. These instructions, although they're written in English, they're not clear English, and I'm kind of winging it based off of what I see here, based on what I know already, and based off what I can research on YouTube, like what you guys are doing right now. But anyways, we're talking about the product itself. We're not talking about how to wire it. We're not showing the installation, even though I'm helping you with that. Like I said, get a professional if you don't know how to do this. So let's go to install. Like I just said, we're going to get all hooked up, get it mounted, get the wires connected, and then we'll come back and see how it looks, see if it worked. But first things first, let's turn the power off to the house. Okay, so we have the mounting bracket attached to the fan. Ran the wires through this bottom plate, through the boom, up through the mount. These screws right here, 1, 2, 3, they all loosen up so you can get the boom to fit through there, and then you tighten it back up, and that's it. Now we got the fan all hooked up and ready to go. Now, next thing we do is going to hook up the controller up to the ceiling like that, and then we'll bring the fan up to the ceiling, get it mounted, and then hook up this connection, because it's going to be hooked up to the ceiling, right, to the power. Then we're going to hook this up to these wires, and hopefully it works. We'll see what happens. So again, we're going to go turn off the power to the house and then get it hooked up, and we'll be right back. Okay, power is turned off. So let's take a look what we got here. We have our white and black, positive and negative. We have our ground, and then we have an additional wire, which we are not going to use because this unit comes with that function, which would be the dimming option or for the light option in addition to the fan. And this copper wire, which is connected to this mount, is the ground. So we will connect that to the ground. And as you can see, these come with these little wire caps. So basically you just put the wires together and you can screw them in, and they will twist the two wires together, this wire and the wire from this. They will mash the wires together, that one and that one, and that way you don't have to clamp them or anything. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you what happens. All right, so you can see at the end of the negative and positive wire, there's no wire showing, it's all plastic. So I'm going to bring out my handy dandy wire strippers and just strip enough of the end so that way I can connect metal to metal on the controller. All right, so you can see I just got the tip exposed, nothing too much. You don't need that much, just enough to have these two metal pieces connect to each other, and then we use a little wire connector to twist it all together. And here we are with the fan installed. So a few things I had to change up a little while doing the install that I couldn't film was I did change the boom to the larger boom. Remember I said I was going to do the short one? Well, I went with the longer one only because that top base and the bottom base were touching each other, so that I couldn't screw that base up into the ceiling because there's just no room for the screwdriver. So I went with a long boom, which is fine. It's still tall enough to where it's not an issue, so it worked out. So one thing you do want to do also is you mount the bracket to the ceiling, and then you put the boom into the fan. You put the cap on top of the boom, so basically you're putting the boom and the fan up to the ceiling, install it, and then you can move that the base up and screw it in. So that's the easiest way to do it, I found, after you get it wired properly. Then of course I got the light bulbs put in. They were not included, batteries not included. So let's turn it on, see how it looks. Here is the remote control. So basically, you know, you have your power on, off. So the cool thing about this fan also is reversible. So in most ceiling fans, you have to climb up and flip a switch to decide which way you want your blades to go. So what is it? Clockwise, it's for winter time, so it sucks all the air up, and then summertime it's counterclockwise, or I could be all the way around. But either way, they reverse, so it sucks up air or pushes air down depending what time of year it is. And then of course you have your lights, so let's turn on the lights. And again, I got the daytime lights, so they're the 5000K 60-watt lights, energy efficient. And then of course the fan, we'll hit this button right here for the fan, and it turns the fan on. And again, you get there's buttons right here where you can change the level or the direction of the fan blade. Then of course you have different speeds for the fan. So like if I push 6, it'll go really fast, and it's actually pretty strong for being such a small blade. It does justice. I mean, as you can see, it's moving my curtains over there. So yeah, it's a strong blade. And then if I push 1, it's of course the slowest. And then you can also do timing. So you can do up to, I believe, 12 hours. You just hit these to correspond how many hours you would want it to run, and it would turn off by itself. Of course, you push the off button and it turns everything off. So I'd say overall, pretty good design. It's pretty neat. It looks interesting. It's a very rustic design. I do like it. It definitely makes the room pop a little. And so good things about it is the blade actually is pretty cool because of the reversible thing. Like I said, you don't have to climb up and flip the switch. You can do it by the remote. It's a great design. As far as installation, from 0 to 10, 10 being the hardest to install, 0 being like a super easy install. I would say because of the lack of proper English in the installation, the minimal installation package, I would give it a 7 or 8, only because I pretty much had to figure this out on my own. Now, if you've installed this particular fan before, or if you're just really good at installing fans and you don't even have to read instructions, this is probably more like a 3 or a 4. It's not that difficult. And I would say what really makes it the easiest, again, is that control box that's up inside, because you don't have to hook up all the wires that are pre-installed into the ceiling. You just basically control everything through that control box with the remote control. And speaking of controlling, so yes, like I said, we have the remote control, and on the Amazon link, which I will post below if you want to purchase this, it says there's an app that you can control this through an app. And I tried looking everywhere on Amazon. I tried looking at the Dexnump website, the company that sent this to me. Thank you again, Dexnump. But I could not find any information on how to download which app do I download to control the fan. I couldn't find it anywhere. So as of right now, that's a downfall. I cannot control this through an app, which was advertised. So I'm not saying that you can't or it's not possible. It's just I couldn't figure it out as a recording date of this. So if I could figure it out after this is posted, I'll definitely link it. You know, I'll make a comment down below explaining it. Maybe I don't know. And I did not reach out to Dexnump to ask them, only because I try to do fair reviews. I mean, yeah, I get these products from these companies. They don't pay me. Sometimes they just send me these products for free for me to review it. But it's an honest review. And if you guys have seen, I've done some reviews where I don't leave a positive comment. You know, I don't do a great review on them. And I'm not saying this isn't a good product. It's great. I'm giving it a good review. It's definitely up there. It's just You know, they don't send me all the information I need or the proper packaging and all that, well, then that was on them, and it's going to reflect in the review. So that's it. I could not figure out the app. So if you can, definitely comment down below, let me know. Otherwise, great product. Link to the description is down there if you want to purchase it. I do get a kickback from Amazon if you purchase it through my link. So thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.